Welcome to the Lights, Camera, Rant Podcast. Your source for the latest on movies, TV shows, and video games. Get ready for ranting, raving, and reviewing. Here is your host, Lee.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to another edition of Lights, Camera, Rant. And for this particular episode, we have a very special guest. We got from the other side of the pond, we have Rick Ives. Welcome to Lights, Camera, Rant, man.
Oh, how you going, mate? Nice to talk to you. I'm just kidding. I'm calling from the United States. I have been to Australia before, so I did pick up a little bit while I was out there. Yeah. So I was asking you before we started where you were from. You said Melbourne, right?
Yeah.
So I visited Gold Coast before. I was working on a Marvel movie out there, the Gold Coast.
Wow.
Loved it.
Well, that's one of the highlights that we're going to be talking about today. Is we're going to be talking about your brand new feature film for the very first time, and what you're working on currently, which is you work at Marvel, which you, as I said before it started, you have the dream, one of the dream jobs I would love to do.
And it is for you too.
Lucky son of a bitch.
That's one of those jobs where, you know, when you're a kid growing up watching movies, you're like, man, when am I going to get to work on something like this? And then when you finally do, you just think, I got to hold on real tight. I'm not letting this one slip away.
That's exactly right. You're just like, I've got to hold on to this and never let it go. Never let go.
Yeah, that's right.
What was it? When were we last in Australia?
So that would have been 2016, I think. Yeah, that's right. 2016.
Pre-COVID.
That was before COVID. It was actually during the American elections that year. And it was like a breath of fresh air to be away from America and not have to listen to that every 30 seconds of my life. And that was for Thor Ragnarok. So I was there for like 2 months. And I got to surf a couple beaches and beautiful weather. It was your winter time. And yeah, it was just great, man. It felt like being in Florida, except everyone was nicer and people driving on the wrong side of the road, but you get used to it. It's okay.
Yeah, no. I know, but last time I went to America, my mate, he decided to be the driver, and the first 10 minutes, he's like, this is just really weird. He's like, nothing feels right. And he's like, I feel like everyone's going to crash into me. I have to keep doing opposite for everything.
Yeah. You're hyper-focused. You can't even listen to the radio because you're really paying attention every second. It feels like when you first learned to drive, you're just super aware of everything around you and how to make this turn. How fast am I going?
That's right. You know, as you really focus in. But like, I have to say, so tell us about yourself. Like, how did you, like, obviously you see the fact you've been doing this for over 10 years now. I was looking at your LinkedIn and some of the programs you mentioned. I'm like, I don't even know what that is, but that sounds cool.
That's funny. Nice.
And like, how did you get to this point working with Marvel? And yeah.
Whoa, Lee, you want the whole life story, it sounds like.
Okay. Sure, do a highlight.
So let's see.
Like if someone...
Father and my mother met.
No.
19...
No, just do like, this is your life. Just do the highlights.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Or what Facebook does on this day.
Look at this. Did you guys ever have Blockbuster out there? Did you guys have video rentals when you were younger?
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
Yeah, they're pretty much extinct now.
Right. Well, they are here too. But when I was a kid, I was the guy who would rent movies from Blockbuster, and I watched every special feature on every DVD that we got, starting when I was like, I think we got a DVD player when I was 13 or 14, something like that.
And Kindred Spirits.
I was just obsessed with all of it. Like, how did they do this? Show me the outtakes, show me the special effects, show me the stunts. It's so cool to me. Figured out I could go to school to do that and told my parents I'm going to work in the film industry when I was 17. And that was while I was working at McDonald's, I believe. And, or Macca's, as you like to call it.
Macca's, yeah. If you know anything about Australia, we shorten everything. Servo, Smoko, Bottle-O, Macca's, like even, everything's shortened. We don't have time to talk.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Of course, it's one of the great things about Australia. Anyways, so I went to college, loved it, just out of the blue, luck landed a job working for James Cameron's 3D company. I started there the day Avatar #1 came out. I didn't even know where I was going to be an intern. Someone just brought me along and held on tight to that one. So for 3 years, I did 3D dailies. Do you know what dailies are, Lee?
No.
Okay, so at night, after they've shot, all day, then they have someone develop all the film at nighttime. That's the dailies. And it's digital, so it's not actual film stock, but there's still a process that happens and the lab still works overnight. So I did that for 3 years in 3D world. I ended up at some point getting a job in Atlanta, Georgia, doing dailies for a little movie. Maybe you've heard of this one. It was called Infinity War and Endgame, or Avengers movies.
Yeah, but they were really they flew on the radar, didn't they?
So those were shot back to back. That was a year out of my life working nights, doing that kind of thing. And it's one of those, I mean, it's the same today. It's a job. It gets boring. I'm sitting at a computer pushing buttons and sometimes it's hard. And then you think, yeah, but look at this right here. Look at what I'm working on. This is not boring. This is the best.
God. And the 10-year-old in you is like, I can't believe I'm here.
Yeah, exactly. So after that happened, I met some people and ended up transitioning over to the editorial department. So now I'm an assistant editor and I receive those dailies in the morning, so I don't have to work nights anymore. I get in,
Oh, that's good.
7, 8 a.m. and the lab just delivered to me. And then my job is to go through all the footage, make sure we're not missing anything, make sure it's all named right. I don't know, make sure the sound looks good, make sure there's a lot of work to get it ready for the editor, right? Mm-hmm. And that's it. That's what I do day to day. And I started on the Disney Plus shows. So I did I don't even remember the order. Loki, Falcon and Winter Soldier, Miss Marvel, some Hawkeye in there. And then everything I've worked on since then has not been released. So we're not going to talk too much about that. But rest assured, I've worked on a handful more projects that are on their way. Oh, one of them, Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special. Maybe you've seen.
Yeah,
so I did get a piece on that one, and it's just fun, man. Every day is fun, and every new project is like a new adventure getting started. So here we go.
That's awesome. Yeah, when you reached out to me and I was looking at your IMDb and looking at everything you've worked on, I'm like, holy shit! Like. It's a good
person
to interview.
I still remember when I first started and I was asking the same question to, older guys who had been there for years and years and years. So what'd you work on last? And they rattled off movies like I just did for you. And I had the same reaction. Oh, man, is that going to be me one day? This is incredible. You just got off Tron. You just got off Avatar. Are you kidding me?
That's your last project. Like, that's what you've been working on. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, it's wild. I am.
Because you also worked on The Mandalorian, didn't you?
Yeah, so that's a funny one. When I was doing dailies, our company did the dailies for that show, and we sent all the gear, that was in my closet over to LA where they were shooting it. And then 6 months later, or whenever, 8 months later, they shipped it back to me. I probably did 2 hours of work on that show. It was never on set, never. And I was watching it like you because I'm a huge Star Wars fan. We're going to talk about that later, Lee. Get ready. But I was watching the credits and my name scrolled through. And I went, hold on a second. Did I just get a Star Wars credit? How did that
start?
I started texting my friends. Why am I in the credits on this? Oh, yeah, we did you a favor.
That's awesome.
I can't believe it. Thank you so much.
So that's 2 universes now.
Yeah, I mean, there's other stuff. Does the Independence Day universe count as something? There's 2 of those.
Oh, I was just saying there's only 2, but still counts.
Yeah, some other stuff that isn't like franchise movies necessarily, but all fun in their own way. 47 Ronin, yeah, that was in London. So not the best movie ever made, but still fun. See Keanu Reeves in the dailies.
Yeah. God, that's I always completely forget he did that movie. Like when I think of K.E.V.I.N, all I think is John Wick and Point Break and Speed.
So He had another movie come out at the same time called Man of Tai Chi. Have you heard of this one?
No.
So he directed and starred in this movie, Man of Tai Chi. You should check it out. And at the time, we were doing reshoots for 47 Ronin. And I heard through the grapevine he was real worried about Man of Tai Chi because he'd never directed anything before. He was nervous about it. And he was not worried at all about 47 Ronin because it's a huge movie.
Yeah.
And then when they both came out, almost like right at the same time, 47 Ronin was like one of the biggest flops ever. And Man of Tai Chi is super good. You should watch it. It's amazing.
I've had
And it's been Keanu Reeves was directing more movies because it was fantastic.
God,
So there's your
nice to know. Yeah, I know. I remember that completely bombing when that came out. And for me, the funny thing is, on paper, that sounds perfect. Keanu Reeves, samurai, take my money. But no,
and it's the 47 Ronin story. Like that's a traditional classic story. How do you go wrong?
Yeah, exactly right. And they did. They went terribly, terribly wrong. That's true. Terribly wrong. But real quick, just for everyone who's listening and watching, what is your top 3 movies?
Oh, okay. Top 3 movies. It's hard to do one. I always have 2. So number 1 is Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. So this is the movie that made me want to make movies as I was getting older. You know, I watched on a repeat as a kid because we had a VHS tape of it. And it's just the best, man. It's fun. It's funny. It's scary. There's a treasure hunt. The action is incredible. You got Sean Connery in there. It's just the best. And I'm super excited for Indiana Jones number 5 because we're going to redeem ourselves this year. Fingers crossed. Coming back.
So do I. My big thing about that is the fact that James Mangold is directing it, that's like that kind of part that I'm really hoping that he'll to really take care of it, especially after what he's done with Logan.
Sure.
Like, come on. Anything better than Kristen Skull.
The trailer looks good. We're going to see.
Yeah.
All right. Number 2, I'm going to say Return of the Jedi, the other number 3 in a series. Because it's got to be a Star Wars one on there. Also starring here, Star Wars.
Yeah.
Star Wars is top of mind because I got 2 kids. I got a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old, and we're just watching the originals right now. We just finished Empire Strikes Back tonight. That was a big one for us.
Ooh. See, I
found out for the first time.
See, that's one thing I can't wait to do when I have kids.
Yeah,
watch all of them. And I did say to my partner, like, she's like, we can watch all the Marvel movies. I'm like, yeah, but when we get into Infinity War, I will make them wait a year before they watch Endgame. And so, like the rest of us,
hardcore. Or lead a lie all the time, like this is the last one. There's no more after this.
Yeah,
just can't tell them.
That's it.
Ends, and they go, ooh, what?
Yeah,
yeah, it's fun. The hardest part is waiting for them to get old enough to do it, because you got to have them old enough to appreciate it, but also not so old that they have it all spoiled already.
Well, that's true. And to actually get that, oh my god, Darth Vader is, yep, who saw that coming?
It's what we watched tonight, man. It was great. And then number 3, okay, so this might be my actual favorite movie ever, although it's hard to call it a movie because it's more like cinema. It's like high art. 2001 Space Odyssey. You seen that one?
Yes.
Okay. I know.
You're right.
It's barely a movie. I hated it when I was a teenager. There's no plot. There's no main character. There's like 40 minutes of no talking to open it, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
But nowadays, man, I just think it doesn't get any better than that. So I've never seen it on the big screen. One day, I'm going to seek that out.
That would be really good to see on the big screen, I have to say.
I know
something like that.
At least in America, with an IMAX screening, but I have to look at it for it.
Yeah, that would be, and those are all excellent choices. And I'm right there with you. I cannot wait for Indiana Jones 5, and it's gonna be the last movie that John Williams is scoring too.
It is. I didn't know that.
Man, I thought he was gonna be done after Obi-Wan. But now he announced that, Indiana Jones is his last.
That's it. So this is going to be like one of the sports star retirements where a year later they're back on something else.
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah. George Lucas will be like, oh, look, I'm going to make a new movie. Do you want to come back? Or Steven Spielberg will be like, hey, I'm making another movie. I'm there.
There's nobody else that can do it. Will you come back?
Yeah.
Yep. It's been 6 months. I'm bored. Yeah, I'm ready to do it again.
Yeah. Because the guy's got
Maybe you've done your favorite 3 on an episode before, but real quick, tell me what the 3 are.
Oh, no, of course. So my number one movie of all time, my favorite, is Back to the Future.
Class.
Like that, as a kid for me, as a kid, time travel. A kid gets lost. There's a scientist. It was a cool car. And
they say a bunch of bad words. It's so great.
That's right. And no, I really, you didn't really realize as a kid until you're a bit older that, it's slightly a bit wrong with Marty and his mum. But that's
right.
Stuff you don't realize until much later.
The funny thing is that was how they came up with that movie. What the whole idea was meeting your parents when they're still cool, and everything else is built around that. Yeah,
yeah. Well, if it was back in, see your parents in high school. But no, Back to the Future. Number 2 is Jurassic Park.
Classic.
The music, seeing dinosaurs, seeing that
for the first time. For the first time, yeah.
Being scared to take a shit on the toilet forever. Never know.
You're scared to go into a kitchen. Being scared to eat Jello.
I know. I know. And number 3, which is a little bit more recent, which has to be a little bit.
You can say Fast and Furious 9. It's fine.
Oh God, no. God, no.
I'm a shameless Fast and Furious fan, but you're gonna say Dark Knight. That's also okay. Yeah, that's also okay. It's not too recent anymore. What was that? 2005?
2008.
Still 15 years ago.
Oh,
not that recent.
When you say it like that. Yeah,
you must have watched that movie in like 3rd grade.
Just beginning of high school.
Okay.
Just beginning of high school, I watched that, and I still remember hearing his name just escapes me. Heath Ledger passing away, and I felt terrible. Yeah. The first thing I said was, "Oh, did he finish The Dark Knight?" Like, not.
That says more about you, Lee, than anyone else.
I know. I remember thinking, it was horrible. Like I did say, I'm so sorry for his loss. But at first, I was like, did he finish Dark Knight?
I know.
But most recently would have to be Endgame.
Oh, okay. That's, I think, probably my favorite of the Marvel movies too. Yeah, it's just so great, man. It flies by. It's like every moment is so exciting. It never lets up. You can't even go to the bathroom.
No, and not once, unlike Avatar 2, did I look at my watch and look at the time.
That's good.
All right. And it is such a different movie for Infinity War. They're so different to each other to watch.
Right.
But yeah, and if I have to go back and watch one, I always pick Endgame.
Gotcha. I'm right there with you. No complaints.
Well, then, will Avengers 5 live up to the hype? Will that?
I don't know anything about Avengers 5 other than what you know. So I just know it's going to be Kang, and it comes out in like 2026 or something, right?
2025.
Oh, 2025. Okay.
Yeah.
And
don't worry,
I'll be there.
I'll be right there with you, man. Oh yeah. Pretty much all I know is that there's going to be Kang, the Avengers are going to come back, but we have no idea who those Avengers will be.
Me neither. I literally don't know. Yeah. Those ones I keep real secret. When I was working on the last Avengers movies, I never even saw a script because it was that secret. So,
working
on it.
God damn. Well, I know they don't tell Tom Holland much because he lets out everything, and they gave him a fake script.
Yeah, it's true. It's actually easier to get away with it on those big ones because each of those characters have very little screen time. There's so many people. It's split up so much that, Spider-Man and Iron Man probably had a lot. Well, I guess Spider-Man's not in most of that movie, but And even
Okay.
even the main characters are only in like a quarter of it because you have so many people.
The script would only be like, not much at all. My camera's blurring out my fingers anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
But like, did you like? I remember thinking, going when I watched that movie, I was like, this seems such like a pipeline dream of a movie. You would never imagine that you'd be watching a movie and seeing all these characters on screen. The first Avengers. You're blown away just having 6 main characters all together.
Isn't it funny to go back and think about that?
Yeah.
They had a movie with all of them together, and now that's like kid stuff.
Yeah. You have 6. All of them. And then now we get Avengers 5 and 6 is opening the multiverse, which means, Ghost Rider, Nicolas Cage,
Who knows? It could be whatever they want.
Yeah, and the last thing I heard the other day was apparently Ben Affleck has been in talks to come back as Daredevil.
Okay, don't spoil anything for me. I don't want to know. If it's rumors and stuff, I don't even watch trailers anymore because I don't like to get spoiled. I haven't watched a Star Wars trailer in years, just to get, even for the shows. I'm like, I'm already going to watch this. I'll just wait.
Yeah, I already know. You already know I'm going to sit and watch it. But hey, actually, especially this week, Mandalorian season 3.
Is it starting this week?
1st of March.
Oh man, that's great news. Also, I don't watch them all right away either because I can't bear the week to week wait times.
Yeah,
I usually wait till half of it's out and then binge the first half and then wait and then binge the second half.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. That's the only thing that I dislike about Disney Plus is I wish it was just like Netflix and you could binge it all in one go.
Yeah.
But even HBO Max doesn't do it, so I'm reviewing week by week of The Last of Us.
Yeah, and I haven't watched any of it yet. I'm waiting until it's all done because I know I'm gonna love it and watch it all in 3 days. That's it.
Well, I think you got 3 more weeks. I think it's 9 episodes in total, so you got 3.
Okay, I've been asking around how many episodes there are. Nobody knows, so maybe it's 9. That sounds good.
I thought it was 9. But the first episode goes for an hour and 30 minutes.
Yeah, you're in Stranger Things territory. Like each one of these is its own movie.
I know. And the thing is, like, I checked the first episode off. I thought, I'll just watch this before I go out. And I got to about the 50-minute mark. I'm like,
this doesn't feel like
shit. They're not wrapping up. But yeah, you will love it if you're a fan of video games.
Yeah,
like this is near perfect. Probably the best video game adaptation ever.
Yeah, great. I'm excited for that.
It's funny what happens when you actually include the creators of the game into the show. It's amazing what happens.
Well, the special thing about Naughty Dog is they're storytellers to begin with.
Yeah.
I see them as storytellers before game makers, The story, to me, it seems like the story comes first for them, and that's why I liked playing video games. I don't do so much anymore because now I got kids, but I was always drawn to storytelling stuff. Like, let me interact with it in the way, that's different from watching a movie. But I still want to be like brought on the same ride.
Exactly right. One I could off the top of my head is Red Dead Redemption 2. And I watched both Red Dead Redemption games. If you've ever played them.
I played the first one, not the second one. But same thing. Yeah, it's great storytelling.
Yeah. I still remember playing the first one, getting to the end, and I kept replaying that last mission until I realized, oh, you don't survive. This is.
See, I knew that you weren't supposed to, and that's funny that you refused to believe that.
No, I kept I kept trying to go back. I kept trying to do it, and then I realized, oh,
I can't win this. You got to zoom right there on that. That was perfect. The camera zoomed you right from it.
Technology. OBS bot. Fantastic. And even just recently, God of War.
Okay.
God of War Ragnarok, story.
I haven't played those since they wrapped up last time.
1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
Well, if you ever get time, both 4 and 5, story theme wise.
when you have little kids, you just don't have time. But I've got a list going of all the games that I want to play, and I'm gonna be 85 years old in a retirement home, play PlayStation 5.
Yeah,
When there's a PS10 out on the market, and my
still
wife
on
and all the
fire.
people around me, instead of like shuffleboard and stuff, I'm gonna be over here with my TV. This is amazing! I can't believe I waited so long.
This is great. It was funny, actually. I did mention that to a mate too long ago. Like, do you realize we're going to have, when we are all retirement home, it's going to be a whole generation of gamers. Oh, instead of just doing small
Hard
things,
games.
everyone's, yeah, still going to play these old games, or we're still going to, we can't do much except be like this.
Yep.
And then have a catheter hooked up, which,
yeah, that's right. Bring me my tapioca pudding. I'm putting it in another disc.
Exactly right. A what? A disc. What's a disc? Get out.
I've been saving these for 30 years. I got a whole stack.
Yeah, exactly right. Not in the same case either. As always. Well, your most recent you've all worked, so I'm guessing you would be working on Secret Invasion and Loki season 2.
No, actually, neither of those. Loki is shooting in England for season 2, and I don't know anything about Secret Invasion.
Oh, well then, if that's the case, then I'm really curious to know what you're working on, because that's the only 2 things that have been announced for this year.
And unfortunately, I'm not allowed to ever talk about what I'm working on. That's part of the promise.
That's all right. But at the same time, even though you can't tell anyone, like, you must love it when something gets announced or something that you've been working on and you can finally talk about it and watch everyone's excitement for it.
Well, I'm a super fan of this stuff anyways, even before I was working on the Marvel stuff. So yeah, exactly. And, Marvel makes so much now that I'm only working on 1 or maybe 2 things in a year. There's still so many projects that I'm not involved in at all, and I still get to be a fan of those, and I'm always excited when they do the announcements at D23, or what is that what it's called?
Yeah, D23 or Comic-Con.
Yes.
Yeah. That is my dream. That is my dream, that this podcast will take off and I'll be able to be one of those people in the crowd. And
One day you will be. Stick with it. Don't let your dreams be dreams.
just do it. But no, that's and to be in the crowd. Like, I would have loved to have been there when they announced Infinity War Part 1 and Part 2, like that. Which actually it was called Infinity War Part 1 and Part 2 originally.
Right, yeah, that's right. It was.
Yeah.
And to be in the room, yeah, and see all the actors come out and everyone just losing their minds over it, man, that would be amazing.
I know, especially last year when they announced with Avengers 5, Vengeance 6, and Thunderbolts, Captain America 4, Deadpool 3.
You just get so excited, and there's no end in sight. Just keep it going.
Yeah, that's the beauty of what Marvel's doing. Marvel's too big now to ever go, this will be our last one. They'll just keep going and they'll keep making it. And as a fan, you were spoiled. Same thing with Star Wars. We're spoiled right now. For a franchise that doesn't have any major feature films coming out, we're still being spoiled on both TV shows and video games.
Yeah, totally. Hey, I agree completely. When I was a kid and in love with Star Wars, there was no more Star Wars. There was never gonna be. It was never coming back. You had 3 movies on VHS tape and maybe a Christmas special, but that was sort of a rumor. No one knew if it existed or not.
Yeah.
Because we were all too young to have seen it.
Yeah.
And that's it. And the fact that it's back now, look, even if it's bad, I'm so glad that it's here because I just want it.
Yeah, I'm the same. Like Obi-Wan last year, that made me feel like a kid again, watching the original trilogy and then going to watch the prequels and losing my mind the first time you ever heard Duel of Fates.
Right.
And saw Obi-Wan Kenobi. And thinking, Rat's Tail's still not in. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you reminded me that, man. See, because I don't even watch the trailer, so I didn't even know that it was coming out. I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, Mandalorian season.
But I didn't know it was
3,
interesting.
and I think this year we will be getting Ahsoka.
That's the end of the year. Yeah.
Yeah, with Hayden Christensen coming back again.
Interesting.
All
All right, don't tell me anymore. You've already told me too much. I don't want to.
Spoil too much. So
You can't spoil it for your guest.
no, I did that actually once. I did have someone, and I was like, "Oh, did you know they're doing this?" And they're like, "No." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, they are." Surprise!
Yeah, that's funny. I usually know at least what is going to be coming out, and then that's it. Nothing else. So there you go.
Are you looking forward to, like, a little bit off topic, but you're looking forward to Oppenheimer? Is that interesting?
Oh, yeah.
The new Christopher Nolan movie?
Yeah, so I feel like Nolan fans have gotten kind of a bad rap the last couple of years. Like, just them being fanboys is bad because they worship him and everything. Or something, I don't know. But look, I'm a fan of Nolan, always have been. His stuff is amazing, and I can't wait to watch it. Just the trailers for his movies take me away.
I know, and they're always crafted very different to what you like. Even the first trailer for the teaser, Oppenheimer, I don't think there's any word said in the first teaser they got. It was just flames, him walking around, and then just still flames, like black and white. Like, it really was vague.
Was the one with Cillian Murphy speaking, not the teaser? That's like the official trailer.
No,
That's
I
the one
mean,
I've seen.
no, I think this is fitting further back.
An older one. Okay, maybe I
Yeah.
just saw that one.
But no, that's gonna be fantastic. And the Man apparently used a practical bomb in somewhere for special effects.
I heard that they detonated something for real. Man, that's crazy. Tenet, I only watched once. I did see it in theaters with a mask on, which was weird. And I need to revisit that one. That's probably been my least favorite so far, just because it's just a lot to process and try to wrap your mind around. But
If you thought
still a great experience.
If you thought Inception was something like Tenet's really like.
Yeah. Inception was just the right amount of like, whoa, but not so much that you left confused. You got it. At least I did. When it was over, I got it all. And there's more to discuss and stuff, but man, Tenet was tough. I still don't know that I completely understand how it was all working.
I know, but probably the best thing about the film is the last action scene. Watching the reverse of everybody, that was all fantastic. But you're right, it's not the Christopher Nolan movie I first go back to.
Mm-hmm.
Besides Batman, for me, it's either Inception or The Prestige.
Oh yeah, see, Prestige is so good. That one is like a magic trick. It's like they're telling you how a magic trick works and showing you how a magic trick works.
Yeah,
At the same time.
At the end, you still go right at the end. You're still like, I need to watch that again.
Yes. I can't believe I just saw that. Wow. I know.
Yeah, what do you mean it's still? Hey, what?
Here's the other thing that Nolan knows how to do is how to end a movie, right? Every time one of his movies ends, you're just sit back in your seat like, man, that was incredible. Last couple minutes of every movie.
Cinema. That's a cinema experience. Inception, that left you guessing at the end. Dark Knight Rises was a fantastic end, but still made you question a few things. And then, Prestige. That makes you want to go back and watch it again. The one movie I do need to watch is that everyone does recommend is one of his very first movies.
The Following. Or Memento.
Memento, that's with Guy Pearce.
So you never seen Memento?
No. But
wow. Okay.
I've been told I need to go back and watch it. Yeah.
It's unlike anything. I mean, it's Nolan. It's unlike anything you've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's just great. So creative. And that one's also not very hard to follow, even though it has, it asks you to do some work. But
that'll be a good one. I think, that's probably the other one missing from a collection to watch. But yeah, Oppenheimer, that's non-Marvel or superhero related, is one of the most exciting movies I can't wait for this year. And the cast is insane. Like Robert Downey Jr., Florence Pugh, Cillian Murphy. Like, it's insane cast he's assembled.
I can't wait. That's all I have to say about it. So when is that? July?
July, roughly about July, it's coming out.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I just the madman of like, oh, I can flip a truck. That's cool. Let's blow up something. Oh, what do you mean? No. Let's really blow up something.
Well, in Tenet, they really crashed a plane, right?
That's right. They did
That was
too.
practical. Crazy. Let's just drive a plane into a building.
I none of the CGI crap. We're doing it for real.
Yeah.
Or like at the beginning of The Dark Knight Rises, that whole escape and everything is legit.
Which part are you talking about?
The Dark Knight Rises when the Bane gets on the plane and the finger plane.
Yeah. That's like most of the time, real. That was practical. That's crazy.
Yeah. I just feel sorry for the team that's going like, oh, I want to make this. Jesus Christ.
I have to imagine they show up with ideas and they're like, hey, I'm thinking about what if we wanted to try something like this? Would that be possible? And it just gets everyone excited. Man, would that be possible? Let's see.
That's right.
Let's see if we figure out this. And then you're just all in it together. That's what's so great about filmmaking.
All in. Which I think that's a great segue. Filmmaking, I must say, this movie that you have directed and written is fantastic.
Oh, nice. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Which is called Solid Rock Trust. And the synopsis of the movie is, armed with only a collection of cell phones and a unique talent, a hacker orchestrates an elaborate bank heist from an abandoned building. But when things spin out of control, she has her wits to hold it all together.
Perfect.
Like, that's just enough to get you excited and pique your curiosity.
And you just watched it, right?
I did.
So give me your quick review. Thumbs up, thumbs down.
Absolute thumbs up. What I loved about it is I haven't actually watched a movie in a while where you relied a lot on your imagination.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As in, because obviously watching Last of Us, Star Wars and everything else happens at once. They imagine the entire world.
Right.
But to bring a story, bringing back a story in where something that you just have to imagine everything is fantastic. And I did love at the very start how, it was all very wide shots and how it slowly, as the movie progresses, becomes more intimate.
Nice. You recognize that. Thank you. Yeah.
I did. And it was the very first start. That's like a long shot, right? I forget what it's called, where it's still one take.
Right. Yeah. Like a one take or a oneer. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. We go all around. I thought that was really good. Especially the music.
Like the music. Okay. Cool.
I did. I also checked that Joey, this was his first feature-length film.
Joey Wetland. Yeah. Knocked it out of the park. Yep.
He did. That was all fantastic. But and the setting of the story was fantastic. I did like how she also changed her accent. Yeah. At first I thought, why did she change her accent for each person? And then it did click. I was like, oh, that's right. I'd love to pick Australian.
Yeah.
Well, I did. At least one of them was Australian.
Sure, of course. You got to get everyone covered.
But no, and the fact that, I have to ask, where did this idea for this movie come from? How long have you had this in your back pocket?
Yeah, nice. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm glad you watched it. I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad you saw all the stuff that I wanted you to see.
Yeah. No, I'm not the only one. You have an 8.5 at IMDb.
Yeah, and that's doing pretty well. People seem to receive it, really well so far. I'm very happy about.
I think it's because it's more of an intimate setting, and that's something I don't think it doesn't get made a lot more anymore. People were trying to do all the spectacle, everything. But no, this is really compact.
Cool. Well, in a lot of ways, I wanted it to be like a stage play.
Yeah.
You feel like you're almost in the room with her just watching a 90-minute show of one person do an amazing thing. And she's got these talents, right? She can do accents and she can do languages, and it's wild to watch her just switch so quickly right in front of you.
I know. Absolutely.
It's not a trick. And it's not an editing trick. We did a oneer, like you were talking about, to open up because I wanted you to see she's just a really good performer. She can do that.
Yeah, she
and that's what makes
absolutely
it
props to her.
And then also I kind of wanted it to be a radio play in that you're not seeing what's happening in the bank that they're robbing. You're only hearing it, which is what she's doing. And that's what you're saying. It leaves it up to the imagination. You're picturing these people, you're picturing what they're going through, and you're filling in all the blanks. And that's kind of fun, you know?
Yeah.
I wanted it to be that way.
No, right. I was just thinking, it's like one of those, there's one of those old radio plays where they'll tell you the story and on some channels, and you're like, oh, what would that imagine look like? Well, that would look like.
Yeah. And as long as you're invested in what their stakes are, what she cares about, what they care about, you will care about those people. That was sort of my theory, is even if you don't see these people or what they're going through, you have no idea what they look like. And yet you still care for them the same way you would any other character.
That's right. So, even not even just the bank people, but also the cop that was talking to her. I forgot his name. The
cop.
The negotiator.
Right.
Like if you felt for him.
Right.
You really I felt for him when she started talking about his daughter.
Right. That was the goal, man. Just make people care. And look, I know it was a tough sell to begin with. You're asking where this came from. I had been editing low budget features on the side of doing my regular professional work because I want to be an editor. And this company out in California who I'd edited 3 or 4 movies for, I pitched them something that would be in their ballpark for budget. And I said, hey.
Lightbulb Films?
Oh, that's us. That's me, Flashbulb.
Oh, that's great
for this. They're the San Bernardino Theatrical Center for Arts. They're like a live theater, and they have a 3,000 seat theater that they fill up every couple weeks with a play. And they started just doing feature films because they're like, we have all these actors. Why aren't we just making a movie a year?
Like, why not? You got the backing.
So I hooked up with them, and I pitched them this story and like, hey, this is going to be the same budget as the other movies you're making, but we can make it look really good because we got one location, one person. And I just started cramming things into the script that would keep this interesting because it's hard to convince people you got to watch a movie with someone talking on the phone. But what would be interesting? Yeah. She can do accents. She can do languages. She's got this clock in front of her that she has to keep hitting every 2 minutes.
I didn't realize the clock. I did wonder, like, why does she keep creating the clock?
At some point, you get to it, yeah. And but it also means that it has to move quick because she can't be on the phone for more than 2 minutes. And if you're ever bored with something, just stick around because we got like a twist happening every 10 or 15 minutes, right? And we're gonna flip it on its head, take you in a direction you weren't expecting.
No, it does, and it escalate even with everything that does keep escalating in through the movie. You do have those moments where you do pull back. And it does get like a softer moment, and you find out more about her, and like you find out more
introspective time, right?
Yeah, it's like, hang on, wait, now let's go again.
Yep, exactly. It would be very difficult to have something completely suspense the whole time, but you want to have that stuff in there because you want to find, I think, an interesting character who's flawed, but also smart and funny, and they just have a lot of different sides, and that's what we show, and that's what the performance is all about. So,
and you invest more. And Coco, yeah, that's yeah. She like for a movie this long where she is literally the main scene, and you hear everything through and funnel through her.
Yeah,
she's done a fantastic job. So you nailed your lead actor on that.
I know she's fantastic. We're so lucky we found her. She could do all those accents. In fact, she brought more accents than we had in the script. She just showed up and was like, "Hey, can I change this one to this one and this one and this one?" Because I had doubled up some of them. I didn't know somebody could just do that many.
In one go.
And from the beginning, I was like, "You got to be able to cry and you got to be able to do accents." And this is going to be fun. You're going to get angry. You're going to get to play a little bit and have fun and make some jokes and do some wisecracking, but also, show us a full range of what you can do.
And full on display.
Completely. I know. She totally carries the movie. And it's harder than you think. It's already hard to be an actor and have all these people standing around waiting for you to do your part now. All the camera crew, directors, all the hair make, everybody just standing there waiting for you to do your thing. But at least you have other actors. At least you have other actors there to help you through it. But that was not the case for her.
No.
She had to do the whole movie by herself, like not even have other actors in there with her to play Oppo. So it was difficult. I was asking a lot, and she just did it, man. Smile on her face, never a complaint. So watch out for her in the future, because you'll see a lot more of her.
That's fantastic. And like as I said, like so what really inspired you for this plot? Was it really this, like, you wanted to have that setting and you built the story around it, or was this story something you've always had, but this was the right way that you wanted to inject the story into?
No, it was more the setting. I love single location movies. There's a handful of them out there, and I watch them all because every time one pops up, I'm like, I have to see this. I love the idea of just having somebody do their job like right here, and it's not a trick, it's just a performance. And how do you keep that interesting? And I had the idea of somebody with a whole bunch of phones. Okay, why would they need that? Okay, well, I like bank heist movies. Bank heist is actually interesting because you have a bunch of rules that you have to follow. Every bank heist movie follows some certain tropes. Cops get called. There's double crossings. What are they stealing? What are they stealing? That's always like a surprise. How are they stealing it? That has to be unexpected. Can you trust your team or not? And
who's this? Who's that?
Yeah, I wanted to put all that in there, except in a way that you'd never seen before. So as soon as, I made that connection of like one person, one room, bank heist happening somewhere else, it just all started to fall into place of the things that, you wanted in there. So,
and the rest wrote itself.
Pretty much, yeah.
With the phones, the phones took me back because I was like, oh my God, a murder, all flip phone, jeez.
Yeah, and it kind of makes you question, when is this happening? Because her technology, this computer she's on, are kind of old. And later you see some different technology, and that's all intentional because I don't want it to be a certain time period. And also, we do explain why she's using flip phones, at some point. So it all makes sense to me.
I did like the guy that's like, God, this is so old. Like, probably can't even get emails on it. And her face, like,
you knew, if only you knew.
Yeah, if you knew what you just stumbled on across. But no, and I haven't watched, I have to admit, I haven't watched a movie like that in a while. So it was really nice to see something a little bit different. And obviously I got to keep up and watch, all the fresh area. But it was nice seeing something a little bit smaller like this. However, it keeps your imagination going the entire time.
Right.
Especially towards the end. Even to the end, you're not too sure what's going to happen.
Right. It's funny. Stakes don't have to be world-ending stakes to be important,
Or a giant beam in the middle of the city going up to something.
Sure. As long as it matters to your main characters, that's what's important. So it could be as small as you want. Like, this is one room and one person, but she has a lot of responsibility, and she really cares about what she's doing, and she cares about the other people she's doing it with. And that's a lot for a person. I mean, that would be a lot for anyone, And even though this is only 90 minutes, and it's basically real time, you never really leave her. Still, at the end of 90 minutes, you feel like you've come so far because you've got through so much with her,
I know. You do, you feel like I've learned so much about you, and all across right to the end, and you find out that this isn't, as props to you, it isn't just, I want the money, I want to just go away.
Right.
Actually try to do a nice thing. And she does it to the negotiator cop.
Right.
Right at the end. Spoiler, but I highly recommend anyone to look at this and watch this movie.
Well, I'm glad you had such a good experience with it. Thank you.
Nah, as I said, casting, the effects, the camera, the music, it all worked together. And the biggest question is, you can't stop there.
Yeah. So I haven't written any more Solid Rock Trust movies, although I do have like 2 or 3 planned out in my mind that would take place after this. It's a heist movie, so you could come up with a dozen things to steal,
Oh,
a cool way to steal it, and then maybe not an abandoned building, but a different way. Her thing is to be away from the heist, so you
yeah.
could play with that forever. Um, and then I
Yeah.
started writing. I started writing scripts because I wanted to be a better editor. Just to understand why a film is constructed the way it is and why scenes are happening in a certain order and what makes a good character. So I've got like 4 or 5 scripts written that I've just always hammered away on, and no matter, depending on who comes knocking and how much they want to spend, I've got something ready to go.
Hey, I have this ready. Hey, I've got this ready.
Yeah, let's do another one.
It's
So
just,
we'll see how this one does, and then we can decide what the next steps will be. But
well,
that's the hope.
how well has this gone? I can only go from the reviews on IMDb, but it looks like everyone's loved it. Everyone's loved it. You showed it to, and
Yeah, I don't know how much you want to talk about distributing an independent movie, but it's sort of strange. We went with a company called Indie Rights. There's a bunch of them out there who will take your movie and get it out for you. We went with one called
I'll keep that in mind.
which is really well regarded, among those people, and we're happy with what they've done so far. But you still only see, like numbers every quarter or so, and we're still a very new release, so I actually don't know how well it's doing yet, other than
Oh,
it's got good reviews, and it seems like people are watching it, on IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes and stuff. So
I haven't looked at Rotten Tomatoes yet. I just looked on IMDb, but now also you can see your high views on YouTube channel as well, which is good.
well, I'll tell you real quick on Rotten Tomatoes, it's 100 and 100 because everyone likes it so far. So there you go.
Well, that's great. But that's that have to be a fantastic feeling that, this is going out and it's showing the fact that for all the TLC, all the hard work into it, it's paid off.
Yeah. Well, you do a podcast, so you know what it's like to put content out in the world, and it's scary. Put yourself out there,
Well, that's right. I'm still waiting for touch wood. I haven't had a really bad review yet, but I am waiting for someone to message and be like, "Yeah, you're boring," all this. I'm like, "Yeah, but you watched me, so thank you."
It's funny. Your mind tells you, of course, I'm not bad. I mean, I'm just as good as everyone else. And yet there's a little voice inside your head that says, yeah, but the 1% of you thinks you're a loser and this is never any good and no one's ever going to care. And for some reason, that's the loudest part. So it's still difficult. Yeah,
it is. And for me, before I did this, I was always going to start a YouTube channel many years ago. And that little voice won, and I thought, no, like there's so many other people out there. What's the point of making it? And then when we go into COVID lockdown, I was like, I have no excuse. All I can do is watch movies and drink.
At least now you can be creating something after the fact. But yeah, to your point, you put it out there, you hope people like it, and it is kind of rewarding to see, yeah, maybe I'm not so crazy, that this was as good as I thought it was going to be. And maybe it was worth, the time and effort I put into this one.
Overall, how long was the time? How long was the time frame from when you submitted it to that company to where it started shooting? Like how long, did you actually have any COVID on-site regulations you had to do work?
Well, we were small enough that we didn't need any because we were under like 20 people anyways. It was a really small crew. I wrote the script. I wrote a short for this back in college, and then I wrote the feature length. I don't know. It's like 2017 or 2018, and we were going to shoot in 2020. And when COVID hit, we had already done casting and stuff. And then everything got delayed for a year. So that added time. And then, at a certain point, my wife was talking to me about, man, if there's ever a COVID movie, this is it. You got no cast, and you got a tiny crew in one location. There's no reason you can't just do this out here in Georgia. It was originally going to be LA, but we ended up doing it out here. And I'm so glad we did. And let's see, we shot in 11 days, which is super fast for a movie. I don't know.
Whoa.
Usually on a big movie, you're shooting like 2 to 4 pages a day. And we had one day that was 20 pages. And most of the days we were shooting like 10, 11, 12. So really fast. Again, cheating a little bit because one location, one actress who really knew what she was doing. So it's a lot easier to get through that stuff. And
let's go pretty quick.
edited it for a few months, started submitting to places, and then, that's what takes a long time, is picking a distributor and then getting them what they need, and then them actually sending it out to all the places that need it to go to. So it's a long process, man. And now we're going to spend a year, trying to get it out there and help people find it. So,
well, don't you worry, man. I will definitely be sharing it on every platform I have.
Oh, thank you so much. And for your listeners, if you do happen to watch it, go leave me a nice review somewhere on IMDb or Rotten Tomatoes. I love all that stuff. But you can find us online too, Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. And I'm pretty responsive if you want to talk or have a question.
No, you have to be one of the people that's emailing me so quickly. No one responds that quickly to me. Like, even on Instagram or Twitter, you were so quick. I was like, oh my God.
I live my life on the computer, so I've gotten in the habit of just answering people right away before I forget. So,
yeah. No, I'm trying to get better. Oh yeah, I'll reply, and then something will happen. I'm like, oh, shit, I didn't do it.
Yeah, exactly. That's the feeling that I don't want. 4 days later, oh yeah, man, I never answered that. I'll get to it. And then another 4 days pass. Man, all of a sudden it's been 3 weeks and I haven't talked to anybody.
Oh, they'll come back to me, I'm sure. But no, everyone, as I said, Solid Rock Trust, IMDb, YouTube, Rotten Tomatoes, comment, share. It's a fantastic journey, and you'll be missing out if you don't watch it.
Yeah, thank you. And you can watch it for free on Tubi. So that's in America and in Australia right now. I don't think it's in the UK, but I'm pretty sure you have it there where you are.
I think we do, but it's not something that people really talk about. Or you have Netflix. Oh, I've got Tubi.
Right. Well, if you go to Tubi TV, it's completely free. All you got to do is go to their website and type in Solid Rock Trust, and you'll find it right away. And then it's for rent on Amazon and YouTube Movies and Google Play, so it's there for you. And then if you're listening to this after June 2023, it'll be available everywhere on YouTube for free. So there you go.
Oh, well, but hey, don't waste your time. Do it now. Do it now. Do it now. And so, well, when you do make another thing, please let me know, because I'd love to watch that too. Where you make next.
Well, apologies in advance, because I'm going to be on your show before then, because I'm just going to come back and talk news with you sometime. But
I want you to. You are always most welcome to come back for any episode.
Yeah, nice. Keep it going. So how long what episode is this? How long have you been going? Since 2020?
Since June 2021.
Okay. That's quite a while. You're almost at 2 years.
Yeah, it's been a crazy journey, and I can't believe, just like the opportunity of speaking to you now, how many people I've spoken to, both in the UK, in America, the friends I've made. So we currently have, I think, 107 episodes all together. And in 4 weeks, the main episode, I hit 100 episodes on my main one, and I just still can't believe that people come back and tune in every week. I'm just like, holy shit.
Because you're doing a great job. Stay consistent, stay fun, and you'll see results, I think. That's my theory.
Well, that's exactly right. And in this day and age, you gotta have fun with it. Anyone can pick up a phone and start recording. But the thing is, make it unique to yourself. Do something new, or take that chance. I always see people who start a podcast and they'll get to the 5th episode and they'll go, I don't want to do this anymore because I'm not getting the results. I'm like, that's not the point. Have fun with it. Keep going.
Yeah. The podcast world is littered with grave sites of 5-episode shows.
Yeah. That's the horrible thing, is that there is more dead podcasts than live ones out there.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me at all. It's something like only 10% make it past a year, right? Something like that.
That's right. They only get that far because they already drop off. And I think another thing is what really boosted that is for everyone who started podcasts during COVID. And
that was actually work. Yep. All of a sudden, they have no time.
No time. They're all put to rest. And the government, it's like, no, I keep going. Well, I gotta hit that 1,000 episode.
Yeah. Well, that's what sets you apart. If you have the energy to keep it up, then you're gonna stand above the crowd. So there you go.
Well, thanks to Marvel, I will have got years of years of content ahead of me.
You and me both.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. So what's been like your favorite what's been your favorite Marvel Disney Plus show so far? Besides like if you have or haven't worked on it.
Ooh, yeah, good question.
Because
I really liked Andor. It was a little bit of a
yes,
slow start, but I dug that one. That's probably been my favorite Star Wars one so far. And it's gonna be
very long.
it's gonna be embarrassing, Lee. Don't judge me. Don't judge me.
Yeah.
But I'm a big Mighty Ducks fan, and I've been sticking with the Mighty Ducks show, which is pretty
No,
bad.
that was a kids movie. That was a kids movie when I watched it. I
Yeah.
still can't believe they made 3 of those movies.
It's pretty fun. I like this show. And then let's see. I haven't watched Willow yet, although I'm super interested in getting to that.
That's everyone I've spoken to has loved Willow. But have you noticed that everything's coming in like legacy sequels or legacy shows?
Yeah,
Like even the Santa Claus has a Disney Plus show that's getting a season 2.
because it's easy for them to boot a show when it has an IP behind it already. That's all. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I really liked on Disney Plus so far, besides all the Marvel shows. That might be it. I mean, that's a lot right there. Marvel, Star Wars, and Mighty Ducks. Those three always go together.
That's pretty much what Disney Plus is at the moment. That's just
Yeah.
literally what you jump onto.
I have enjoyed when I first got the service when it launched. I had enjoyed going back and watching a lot of the old live action Disney movies. You go back and watch some of those, like Journey to the Center of the Earth and Swiss Family Robinson. All those I remember from when I was a kid. Newsies.
Yeah, Beethoven. Beethoven.
Yeah, there's like 3 of those, right?
I know. I was like, I remember there only being one. I'm like, I'm sure there was only one of these.
And we just watched all the Honey I Shrunk, that series with my kids. So those are great. And there's just a great time period there in 70s, 80s, 90s of live action Disney movies.
Did you know the leading actor in Honey, I Shrunk Kids? Do you know he's retired from acting for his wife?
Yeah, but he's coming back.
Yeah.
There's also a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids TV series in the works.
Yes. Wow. See, look at another legacy sequel. Oh, look at Top Gun.
Oh yeah. Well, that's how you make a sequel right there. Incredible.
Second highest grossing movie of last year.
I'm hoping, maybe a long shot, but I'm hoping that movie wins Best Picture because it just has everything behind it for me. It's like popcorn, big budget, big money making, but also cinematography, that's breaking ground. They've never done anything like that before.
I hope it doesn't go to Avatar. I liked Avatar, don't get me wrong, but I feel like James Cameron is being a complete dick all the way up to the release of the movie. Like, it's a good movie, but at the same time, besides the CGI, I was like, yeah, I'd probably pick Top Gun or Wakanda Forever.
I wish that big budget movies were more in the running for it. I just don't know if we're there yet. It makes me sad that you can't have a popcorn movie as a Best Picture. Star Wars was Best Picture, man. The Fugitive was up for Best Picture, and what is that? Like just a 90s action movie.
I know. I don't.
Why don't we have that in this stuff? Like Lord of the Rings. Remember all that?
That should have won
those movies. Well, it did. The third one did.
Yes, we did too.
Why can't we get that kind of stuff in the Academy Awards anymore? Sad.
It's just because it's a popularity contest. Like for years, they were ignoring Pixar films. I'm like, how can you ignore the film that's nearly got perfect 4 to 5 stars? Not one before.
Right, the one last.
Sorry, Paul. Before the last, I think 2 or 3. But for years, Pixar was throwing out banger after banger after banger.
Yep.
No comment.
Yeah, interesting. But it'll be Babylon. Babylon's not even up, right?
No, yeah, yeah.
It's not even in the. That was. I don't think that one even went in the running. I haven't even watched it yet, although I really want to.
Neither have I, but apparently it's good. Especially apparently Tobey Maguire is very creepy in it.
Okay. Hey, all I know is like biggest bomb of all time, so I got to see that. You got to.
Yeah, wow, the biggest. Now, have you ever seen The Room?
See, The Room is not a good movie, but it's not a bomb because they didn't spend money on it. But Babylon was like 80, 90, maybe $100 million, and it made like 30. They lost so much money on that. It's crazy. Got to see it.
Do you think that's because it's not because of it's a known IP or a superhero movie? Or do you think people are being more conscious on their choices?
Yeah, I think that there's just not that many people interested in 1920s Hollywood. Like a movie about 1920s movies.
Yeah.
1930s movies, whatever that was. Yeah, I just think it was a misfire. That's all.
That's true. I do need to go watch a movie that I've missed it in theaters, but it's a Fabelmans, and it's about
Fabelmans. Yeah, Steven Spielberg.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that yet either. Man, I have kids now, so it's hard to get to the theater, but I do watch everything as soon as it's out for me to see at home.
But I do want to watch that because apparently it's a kind of like a biography of his life.
Right.
How you go too.
I don't know if I've ever seen a director do a movie about himself.
Oh,
like an autobiography.
Well, what about Eminem? He played his own self for his autobiography.
Didn't direct it.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
Yeah, the whole thing. That was unique too, I guess, playing yourself in your own biography. But
I know who's doing
playing yourself is different because it's like I'm going to tell this story about me.
Yeah,
and I'm going to leave in what I want and take out what I want and change what I want.
Yeah, that didn't happen. That didn't happen.
Right.
But no, like all I have to say is thank you so much for coming on to this episode. It's been an absolute pleasure having you and diving into this movie, diving into your what you work on and how I'd love to know what you're working on so much as a kid, but I understand.
Keep an eye on my IMDb. It'll pop up there as soon as I'm off of a project. You'll see.
Do you update your IMDb or does someone else do it externally?
No, you have to do it yourself. Yeah, I'm pretty sure everyone does. Except, I mean, the actors and stuff have somebody do it for them. But it's still them. It's not like the movie sits there and, the production sits there and fills it all out. They don't care.
Feels effort. Yeah. I've got an IMDb page and it's the hardest thing to put together. I was like, this is not easy at all. So I'm pretty sure if you type in Lights, Camera, Rant, it only comes up with episode 1. And that's as far as I got.
Right. For the show.
Yeah, for the show. I was like, yeah, that's all right.
That's
enough.
It's tough. You got to do it on your own. And if it's part of your career, it's worth it. I mean, I only work on 3 things a year, so it's not that hard. But
you say that, but your IMDb is incredible.
Well,
so is your LinkedIn.
1 year.
Yeah.
Well, it's been a pleasure being on with you, and I hope this is your longest episode ever. And maybe I'm sorry for that, but that's okay.
No, it's in the name. We're ranting. I'd have to go for it.
This is a rant.
Yeah, exactly right. That's why it was the title, because you can go for as long as you want. But absolute pleasure. I'll make sure, obviously, we're going to share all the links for everything. And you're always most welcome to come back anytime. You're always
Thank you. Nice. I'm going to remember that and hold you to it.
That's totally fine. But as always, thank you very much for everyone tuning in. And until next time, happy ranting.
Good day.
Thanks for listening to Lights, Camera, Rant. If you like the show, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. While you're at it, leave us a rating and review, and be sure to tell your friends. Until next time, happy ranting.